Hi, my name is Sarah and welcome to my new little corner of the internet. I am an Australian content creator, academic, 20-something-year-old living in Queensland. I have a degree in medieval history and I am about to graduate with my honours in about 2 months. I got into history in a kind of unconventional manner. I have my family tree back to the 10th century, which as a 10-year-old is a pretty shocking thing to see. But I automatically kind of gained this curiosity to understand how we got from there to here and to see that kind of all through the lens of my family tree. It was a very important event in my life. Fast forward to now, I am currently in the final stages of writing a thesis on 12th century ecclesiastical chronicles and their portrayal of a 10th century king, Athelstan. And that it feels so surreal to say that I will be graduating in less than 2 months. I was kind of hesitant to start this channel simply because I didn't really know if people would be interested, but I'd like to share the kind of mundane aspects of my life and show that as a uni student, as an academic, as a person in the 21st century, life is not always going to be magical and you kind of have to make it that yourself. And as someone who has struggled in the past to show up as the most authentic version of themselves, I now want nothing more than to encourage other people to show up as their most authentic and the realest version of themselves, no matter how weird or unconventional that is. I hid the fact that I loved history for about 5 years in high school because I thought that would make me a nerd. I now have almost 2 degrees in it, and if there's proof of anything, it's that being the most authentic and real version of yourself will lead to you being the happiest version of yourself too. This is also going to give me a chance to kind of share my passions, especially in a world where people are so scared to share their passions. I love history, I love learning, I love helping others. That is kind of the goal of this entire channel. I want to go into deep dives in specific parts of history. I want to show how I have built an entire ecosystem to kind of do what I do and not lose my marbles. And so today I thought I would start with one of the most important pillars of my entire life, not hyperbolic at all, but that is organization, and specifically how I organize my life as a uni student, a part-time worker, and someone who also prioritizes health, wellness, physical fitness, and also just making time for other people in my life as well. So I kind of have 3 systems that help me do this. So I want to walk you through all 3 of those today. And so I thought we would start off with system number 1, which is my online planner. People joke about them living vicariously through their Google Calendar, but I am the physical embodiment of a Google Calendar. If you don't ask me 2 weeks, 1 month in advance to catch up with me, it is very unlikely that you will see me because my entire life is rooted in my Google Calendar. And that's okay, especially because I have a part-time job, I am a uni student, and I also do content creation because why not? And I really enjoy that, and that is a little creative kind of outlet for me. And so I will literally plan every single day to the hour sometimes, which is actually a strategy called time blocking, and it's one that has been very effective for me, especially at uni during my undergrad. So if you are struggling to kind of feel in control of your day, highly recommend time blocking. It doesn't have to be as borderline control freak as me, but even having a loosely time blocked day will give you so much more clarity as to where and how you're spending your time than just kind of going into the day with, I want to get XYZ done, and somehow I will. The other half of my digital planning system is my Notion. And it has kind of caused a little bit of commotion because we need a bit of commotion for the Notion. I am so proud of her. I will not lie. I have everything on here. And it is not my first rodeo because trust me, this thing has gone through multiple iterations, but I think I am finally at the peak state of Notion planning. I have everything organized down to habits, my academics, my content creation. I have daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual planners. I have vision boards. I have my goals. I have my dreams. I have an entire page on what the best version of me is, down to physical traits, personal traits, relationships, my dream house, how many kids I want. You don't have to do this, but if you'd like me to share the entire absolute rundown of my Notion, please let me know. I guess the main thing that I am trying to communicate is that if you can see everything, and if it's written down, a problem written down is a problem half solved. And having the capacity to have all of your notes on something somewhere that is easily accessible will make it 10 times easier for you to access those and make the most of them. If you are a uni student, if you are a high school student and you don't have a central home base for all of your studies, please, my one wish for you is that you start that, because my life did a full 180 when I started to, and my grades will show you that too. Even things like writing down your goals and having like a little baby mood board just to kind of set the tone of your day, it does wonders. Trust me. If you're a content creator or someone who is looking to get into content creation, as someone who has now been doing this for pretty much 2 years, having a central place where you can write down all of the things that you want for your content creation, plan out what you're going to post, when you're going to post it, where those posts are going, is literally the only reason that I can run an Instagram, a TikTok, 2 Substack publications, and now a YouTube channel on top of my everyday life. Notion also has the capacity to have a calendar built into it. So if you're not feeling the Google Calendar vibes, you can literally whack everything in Notion, and Bob is your uncle. So this is not even sponsored, but please, Notion, I would love to work together. But I honestly cannot sing enough praises for how much Notion has changed my life. Itchy nose. Can you tell it's spring in Australia? My nose is... I'm turning into Rudolph and we're not even in December. On to my actual physical organization. I have 6 journals. Not to stress you out or anything. I don't have them all with me because some of them are at my bedside table, but I will give you a little speed tour of all of my journals. I'll start off with one I actually have on me, which is my kind of brain dump everyday journal. She has everything. That is literally just broken. That's not even a paid actor. That is literally just the state of this journal. I do apologize. It has everything from quotes to Substack ideas to the etymology of the word weird, because I was bored on a train one day. If you want to know about me, just look in my junk journal, to be honest. But no, this is kind of where I literally write down anything that comes to my brain, and I want it all in one place. My most recent entry was a new gym split because I've had to adjust how I spend my time at the gym, courtesy of ongoing back pain that I have had for the past 7 years. Very fun. Please take care of your back. I also have a vocab journal laying around here somewhere. I'm not sure where she is, but that is usually where I write down all of the words that I either don't know, want to use more, or I just find them quite cool. The other journal that I do have on me, somewhere over the rainbow. Okay, maybe I don't have her on me. Okay, she's grown wings, but it is one of my personal curriculum journals. It is where I write down any notes on the Wikipedia pages that I read. Not many people are a fan of Wikipedia, but I personally think it is a great resource when used correctly. I actually print mine out because I am a physical reading kind of gal. It also means that I can scribble all over them and underline where I see fit. But a personal favorite is the Irish Crown Jewels. If you want some unexpected Irish gossip and to learn about a very pretty set of regalia, would highly recommend. For context, they went missing in the 20th century and they have yet to be found. So if you know where the Irish Crown Jewels are, let me know. My next journal is my habit journal. She is a grid journal and I track everything. Resting heart rate, the amount of water I eat, how much sleep I get. I track my exercise, whether or not I've stretched, if I've read, if I've journaled, you name it, it is probably in that journal. I also write down a memorable moment of the day. And so at the end of the month, I have an entire list of memorable moments from my entire month. And it is actually quite enjoyable to look back over. And you can also kind of see how things fluctuate and where work needs to go. It's very good to see everything kind of written down. In case you haven't noticed yet, I will always take handwriting things over putting things on document if and where possible, but I also understand that having things online and in the cloud hemisphere is also very helpful. I have a gratitude journal. There is so much, pardon me, there is so much discourse online about being grateful and how much that can do for your personal being, well-being. Please be grateful. Even just write down 3 things that you're grateful for, because there is something for all of us to be grateful for, even if it's really difficult to find at the time. As I said, I have a personal curriculum journal ecosystem within itself. This is one of them. Isn't she pretty? She's from Flame Tree Journals, and she has a magnetic thing. I am nothing if not a sucker for fun journal features. And she's a medieval herbal kind of vibe. I definitely would have been burnt as a witch had I lived like 500 years ago. Anywho, I digress. This is my old English personal curriculum book. I'm currently learning Latin, Old English, and Old Norse, because why learn 1 when you can learn 3? Thankfully, I did Latin in university, so I have some tertiary education behind me on that one. I would not be flying blind on all 3 ancient languages. I'm only doing that with 2 because I'm only slightly insane. Other than that, I have an evening journal where I brain dump all of my overthinkingness, because I am a prolific overthinker. My brain does not know that sleep means that we stop thinking, and if I don't get everything written down on a piece of paper, I will be dreaming of citations. And trust me, that has happened more than once. It's only slightly concerning, but my supervisor did say that that is apparently a normal experience. So I journal in the evening for about half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on my mental state. I also have a 5-year journal, which is a little bit unconventional, but something that is slightly terrifying, but also really cool is I have a journal from Paper Blanks that actually has 5 little boxes that you write down what happened in that day, and then you can see what happened each day over a 5-year period. It has been terrifying, but also very enlightening to see how much I have grown as a person over the last 3 years. I'm on year 3. Trust me, by the time I hit year 5, I'm probably going to be a completely different human again. But that is what being human is about becoming a different person and constantly growing. This is just a visual way of tracking that. I also have other little rituals that don't involve books that help with general organization. System 3 is a little bit unconventional, I guess. It is mind and energy management, because organizing yourself is not just organizing your time and organizing your studies or your work, it is also organizing your energy. This is something that is quite new in the scheme of things for me. I guess I was kind of run at everything 100%, and I didn't really see rest as productivity. I saw rest as kind of a reward of like, yay, you've written an essay, now you can rest. But that is so not the way to live, and that is not a long-term way of living. You will feel so burnt out and so drained if you see rest as a reward instead of rest as a right. So things like journaling, things like daily movement, and things like eating well will all help you manage your energy. And it is honestly astonishing how much of a difference it can make, simply protecting your peace and prioritizing yourself. Itchy schnoz. Oh my goodness. I need stronger antihistamines. I clean my desk once a week, which you can't tell, but I do. I start the week with a clear desk. It does wonders for your mental clarity and for your productivity. I also meal prep. That is obviously not something that everyone can do, but I would highly recommend it if you can. It makes having like food fog in your brain just dissipate. I know that I have at least breakfast and lunch organized for the entire week. I only have to stress about dinner. And usually 9 times out of 10, I have that organized as well. So if you can, and if you are stressed out of your noggin, start meal prepping, and that will just relieve even a little bit of clutter out of your brain on a weekly basis. It's also really nice to kind of disconnect and actually cook en masse. It can be a little bit time consuming, but I do it on a Sunday. I kind of make a moment out of it. I whack in my headphones and I watch Criminal Minds, because that is really the only time I have to watch, I guess, TV in my week. So you best believe I will be making time for my meal prep. I will also 9 times out of 10 plan my outfit the night before, but not just my everyday outfit. I will have my gym gear if I'm going to the gym, and then on top of that, my everyday kind of what I'm wearing. If I'm going to work, I can organize all of my work uniforms. I usually stay at my partner's in between days that I work, and so I can have all of my clothes at his house and not have to worry and have everything kind of visually seen. It also makes sure that I actually wear what I want and I don't feel like I just have to whack on a t-shirt and jeans. I can actually wear an outfit that suits me, suits who I am, and kind of makes me feel confident, because fashion has such a capacity to boost your mood and make you feel that little bit more on top of the world. And the final thing that I do is kind of make sure that my bedroom is in the best state possible. As much as I can, I will always make my bed and I will always kind of tidy my room before I go to bed. It literally takes 5 minutes, but waking up into a clean room, it makes life a little bit more enjoyable. It is the small things at this point, but anything that makes life a little less stressful, I am all here for it. I am by no means perfect. Please, I am human. No one is immune to mistakes, and no one is immune to a day of rotting in bed, not eating well, not taking care of themselves. That is part of the journey, but this is simply some of the ways that I try to mitigate that as much as possible, because I feel like the best version of myself when I'm on top of things, when I'm on top of deadlines, and when I am taking care of my health. And so I wanted to encourage you to just take on one thing. I'm not saying take on every single thing that works for me, because I know that no one else is me and everyone else is so unique, and that is so cool. And so this is just me, pardon me. And so this is just me sharing what works for me, and hopefully something resonates for you and can help you in wherever you are in life. I hope that helps in some capacity. I'd love to know what kind of content you guys would like to see on here. I am kind of keen to do a daily vlog and kind of take you along with me every step of the way and kind of show you these things in action and how much they help me kind of live my best life. But that also will allow me to kind of show other areas of my life that I don't really document on my social media. Things like fitness and health and my other hobbies. I love football, soccer for Americans and other Australians who don't know what real football is. I love F1. I watch AFL with my partner. I'm learning to play tennis. And I have 3 months to get on top of my tennis game before the Australian Open. So if anyone has some tennis tips, please throw them down in the comments below. I would love to strike up a conversation with you guys and to get to know you on a little bit more of a personal basis. But with that said, I would love for you guys to like, subscribe, and follow along for this kind of new little chapter of my journey on my little corner of the internet. So I will see you guys next week for my next video. Bye.